After 3 weeks of nothing, technically a month, GALAXIAS is finally back with Chapter 8. Now, there has been no statements whatsoever about what was going on with the author. Whether they had health issues, whether they scheduled a break for personal reasons, or something of the like, we have no honest idea. So we just came straight back after roughly a month of no new chapters after Chapter 7. And for us, the English-speaking audience, our translation of Chapter 7 was a week later due to circumstances. But now things seem to be back to normal for the time being. So I'm just glad the series is back and we actually came out with a really good chapter. So we'll just jump right into it. Before anything else, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. Now then, let's get on with Chapter 8 of GALAXIAS, titled That Dragon's Method. As we start off directly from the last chapter, where Gio and NERAID are basically being put into prison by the townsfolk. Gio's trying to explain that they're not plotting anything and that they're just trying to see what's going on, but the townsfolk aren't having it, saying that they're outsiders and to stay there until they figure out what they're going to do with them. And so we get a comedic sequence of them just pulling random shit out of Gio's bag to ask if there's anything sinister in it, as she just explains whether that's just an ointment for wounds, a stuffed animal, and I'm not going to mention the last one. But Gio tries to get NERAID to say something, and as the clueless dumbass he is, he says digital gels are for people who have done something bad. Let us out. As the townsfolk just tell him that they have no idea about either of them, they can't trust them, so of course they'll just lock up people that are shady, and NERAID instantly agrees with them and says that they should give up. And yeah, this, like any sane person, this frustrates her a lot. And so she's wondering what's going on. As she reflects back with a few chapters ago, where this mysterious girl was talking to them, but nobody else saw them. Now, we know that this was Schmidt who was casting an illusion that was essentially disguising him, as well as keeping the townsfolk from seeing him. So he disguised himself as a little girl and basically waited for the townsfolk to come and just capture NERAID and Gio for whatever reason, mainly due to his own curiosity. And also reflecting on the fact that the townsfolk don't seem to like Reno a lot, seeing him as an enemy, and she's wondering why that's the case. We find out that they're being held in an underground jail, which is connected to the river's waterway, so they just open a gate and it'll flood and drown them instantly. So, yeah, their lives basically in these townspeople's hands who are incredibly paranoid. Now, NERAID thinks water and thinks that it's a good thing, but, yeah, Gio just states that they'll just drown to death if that's the case. She says that it seems like they all hate Reno for whatever reason, so they probably think that they're the comrades of the guy, and they gotta try and clear up this misunderstanding. So they can't really worry about finding Schmidt at the moment. The guards are trying to figure out what's going on and why the characters are whispering, maybe plotting something. But, yeah, they kind of have to figure out how to get out of the prison, as NERAID says that they got no choice but to run away for now. And then he's got an idea. Now, Gio, as the adventurer romantic that she is, fantasizes about what exactly he's gonna do, going over everything that she's heard in all the storybooks that she has read in her life. A place unknown, escaping somewhere. What is gonna happen in this unpredictable adventure? And in this instance, NERAID just instantly rips open the cage that they're in, to her and everyone's shock, as it was basically nothing to him. As, yeah, this isn't exactly like an adventure to her. And so NERAID just walks out, while all the guardsmen are just telling him to wait, and even Gio's been like, wait, hold on, at least dig a hole if you're gonna try and escape. This isn't really that cool at all. But NERAID just says that just hanging around here is just a waste of all their time, so they just gotta go and find this Reno. And so when they mention Reno, the townsfolk think that they're, well, comrades and stuff like that, and they're kind of panicking over what's going to happen once they end up escaping. And so Gio ends up going over to NERAID so they can escape, but seemingly the guy in charge of this area ends up asking for a request, and that they just have them capture them again, saying that I know it makes no sense, but I'm begging you. NERAID says, so if we do that, will you let us out later? But no, the guy just says that no, they'll just execute them anyway. As, yeah, who would agree to those terms? The townsfolk and their leader is just being incredibly desperate, begging them that it has to be this way. But instead, we get something dripping on the ground as a massive explosion ends up occurring in the area by the town, as this shocks everybody wondering what's going on. But the townsfolk at the prison are terrified, stating that he's coming. as now somebody else is beginning to head towards them as you get panels of just the walls being melted through as someone comes going through the wall, melting it as he walks, stating, "Nobody, nobody in here or in here." As he sings a song, "Everybody, everybody, where'd you go?" As in the next page, we see this new dragonfolk that, if we go back to chapter 7, was there with Schmidt and Chalk, the villains of this arc. And now that I get a better look at him, his design looks really cool and menacing. And he does look like a psychopath. So that helps a lot. Obviously, Jill is wondering what's going on and who he is. Yeah, the leader of the town right now is telling her to shut her mouth. As we have to reveal, this guy's name is Bronze, and he is the Sludge Dragon. The townsfolk all welcome him, but he begins to berate them, saying, "It's been a while. I remember all of you. I always have a good memory. Mommy praised me for it. Your names were, what were they? And he proceeds to give them bad made-up names. As he then contradicts himself, scratching his head, saying that, "Oh man, I forgot. I'm always like this. I always have a bad memory. That's why Mommy abandoned me." As Danny ends up stating, "You're standing up straight." And in that instance, all the townsfolk are instantly terrified, and they all drop to their knees, bowing to him in his presence. As he says, "That's good. I love it when monkeys grovel." And so, the leader of the townsfolk right now are telling Gio to put her head down, otherwise she'll end up regretting it. It's the right thing to do in this instance. Now they end up asking, "Weren't you due to visit them tonight?" But he then says, "Why should I honor a promise I made to monkeys?" He then asks who Gio and NERAID are, the people who are standing, and then ends up stating that he doesn't recognize them. He then notices that the bars are broken on the cage. As he goes towards the leader of the townsfolk in the prison, stating, "Didn't the captain order you to capture everyone who learns about things here and to not let anyone escape? Did you fail?" As it seems like things are over. But then NERAID goes up to Bronze and states, "Oh no, that was me, I did that. I want to leave this town. These guys did nothing wrong." As then Bronze's like, "Wait, you broke it? You look like you're just a normal human though. Who are you?" As NERAID states, "Yeah, that's kind of what I want to know and why I came here for." And obviously Bronze doesn't understand what NERAID is saying to him because, again, who would? But then Bronze begins to secrete something from his hand, saying, "But whatever. Don't you think you can just walk away from here?" As NERAID is excited, being like, "Oh, this guy is melting the bricks. That's so cool." As Jill is just quietly thinking, "Don't look at me. Please don't look at me right now." As he just wants to leave through the hole that Bronze made. Bronze telling him to listen, but as he looks over, NERAID just has this, I'm going to say, psychotic look in his eyes, saying, "So you're not going to move?" In almost every chapter, there's something with NERAID either being incredibly suspicious or just flat out looking like a psychopath. I love it. The mystery of this character always deepens, and this is just really, really cool to just see him just slowly snap in some instances, through mental instability probably, or maybe even not meaning to. But Bronze ends up throwing some sludge, saying, "I'll kill you," at NERAID. But NERAID moves away, but has some of the sludge on his hands, stating that, "What is this stuff?" As NERAID talks to the nearby townsfolk, saying, "Hey, if I can meet this guy, can I leave?" As the leader of the townsfolk right here just says, "Well, yeah, but that's impossible." Bronze then says to shut up as he throws more sludge at NERAID. But NERAID says, "I only need one hand," as he catches the sludge in his hand in that one singular page, as he walks forward and reveals his tail, showcasing to everyone in the room that he's also a dragonfolk. But Bronze is thinking that he's an idiot, because his sludge that he's holding will melt anything at all. It doesn't just melt things. He can detonate it at will, which explains the explosion earlier on in the chapter, saying that you'll be blown to smithereens in 1 second. But he then notices something's off. The sludge should have detonated by now. Why won't it? And then he notices his sludge is detonating, but NERAID, with his bare hands, pure strength of his grip, is suppressing the explosions in his hand. Now that's freaking wild. Look, I knew NERAID was strong. The guy was freaking incredibly strong and took out a Dragonite with one hit at the start of chapter 1. But the fact that he's literally, with his bare hands, suppressing an explosion with just pure strength alone is just insanity to me. Physically is incredibly strong, and I'm curious to see what exactly the type of dragon he is. Schmidt said he was a wave dragon, but that might be the case, or that might be a classification. I got no idea. but it's still really cool that he's suppressing an explosion in his bare hands. But in the next page, he then throws the sludge and creates a giant explosion from it, releasing the pressure from that explosion. And this page just looks incredible. Like, look, the art in Galaxias has always been really good. In so many instances where there's impact, it looks amazing, and I freaking love every second of it. NERAID looks really cool and badass. Man, that explosion just looks so cool. He then, in that instance, punches Bronze into the air, launches him right through the wall. Hey, post-editing Chris here, just wanted to mention that is actually the force of the explosion hitting Bronze back. And yeah, that was honestly what happened, and it launched him through the ceiling from that impact. So just wanted to clarify that. I made that mistake in the initial recording. So yeah, that's my only real mistake, I believe, in this video, so I'm sorry for that. In the hole that he made, creating another explosion on the other side of the wall. As this shocks all the townsfolk, and Geo looks at him, as Geo ends up looking at NERAID, remembering what he told her. Back in chapter 1, lying about wanting to know stuff is the same as being dead. As NERAID gets on the rubble, saying, "Allow me to introduce himself." And in the final page of the chapter, we see NERAID standing on rubble with a hole in the ceiling created from destroying Bronze, stating, "My name is NERAID. I'm missing my memories, and I'm traveling to learn who I really am. Let's get along." That's what they say, right? As he also ends the chapter, not only looking badass in that image with the hole behind him with the light shining through, but also looking kind of psychotic at the same time as well with that smile. But yeah, that ends the chapter, and man, whoo boy. Galaxias once more proves to be something that is just a treat for the eyes every single week. I'm in love with this series. I'm so happy I decided to talk about it every week. And it sucks that, well, it was gone for about a month. But I'm glad it's back, and hopefully the mangaka is alright, and we can continue to get these chapters every single week, and to see where this arc is going to lead, because seemingly, NERAID just destroyed maybe Chalk's number 2, so next chapter, we'll probably get a brief rundown of what happened with Reno in this town, what happened with the new Dragon Knight of the town, and Schmidt's interference. I got no idea what potential is going to happen in this arc, but all I know is that I'm curious to see where this is going to lead, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to fight Chalk, basically with the touch of one hand, can turn anybody into salt, so that was going to be hard for NERAID to face. And I really hope that at the end of this arc, thanks to Schmidt primarily, we'll figure out at least something about NERAID with the confirmation if he really is the Wave Dragon. So that is something to really consider. But yeah, this was a really fun chapter, really standard sized chapter, unlike the last chapter that we reviewed here on the channel, which was admittedly kind of stiff with dialogue and lore, which I loved, but at the same time felt unnatural. This one, it was smooth, it was comedic, and it was badass at the same time. This series came back with an explosion, quite literally, and I couldn't have asked for anything more. Also, I didn't mention at the beginning of the video, but how do you guys like this new setup if you're only here for Galaxias content? I've been testing this out with some of my other reviews and content on the channel with just the face cam, because it'll be fast for me to edit these reviews, and also you get to see my lovely face reacting to stuff as I'm re-going through the chapter and giving my impressions on things. So let me know if you like this whole new setup for the videos. I might do some backgrounds at some point. I can't do the TV, it just throws off the lighting way too much. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this chapter and this new format for the videos. And let me know what you're going to think is going to happen in the future in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel. It shows you want to see more. And with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.
Easy.